Your referee will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Okay, gentlemen, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. You know exactly what I expect of you. When I say break, take a step back. Watch those heads in close. Touch gloves, good luck. Touch gloves.
Ladies and gentlemen, 12 3-minute rounds
No love
for the
lost.
Super Middleweight Championship.
Here, pre-fight publicity, all part of the build-up, but there is genuine grudge, real dislike between these former fighting friends, Paul Smith and Tony Dodson. It's gone sour, bickering on both sides, but they're good operators who possess different tools, and it may come down to who keeps their cool in the furnace tonight, Glenn.
Yeah, and I think for both of them it'll be hard to keep their cool, because they both had a lot to say during the build-up to this, and you know, they've fallen out pretty badly, and there's never any friends when championships are at stake.
Smith in the first defense of the belt that he won here against another Liverpudlian, Tony Quigley. It's all happening in Merseyside in the 12-stone mix, and this could be fun and fiery. Smith behind the jab that he honed in the amateurs. Brought him a Commonwealth Games silver medalist. The feeling is that he might be the better boxer of the two.
Well, these have both got good boxing skills. They both like to get drawn into a fight as well, so yeah, we're hopeful that the styles will gel well.
Dodson showed bags of potential, especially as a teenage junior. Burst onto the scene. I remember Barry Hearn, his promoter at the time, thought he was the next coming Tony Dodson. Hasn't quite worked out like that, but he's a real battler, hard fighter, who believes 110% that he will become British champion again here.
Because he's held this title, he's got the confidence. He feels that Paul Smith moving up is not as big or as strong as him.
Good shot from Dodson with the right hand. Smith, the naturally lighter man who's come up to super middleweight, just dabbing away at his eyes. Smith, both cut, both bleed, and that could become part of the drama. Heads banging together, and he is cut Smith, left eye in the opening round, and a head clash did cause it. So first problem for the new champion to deal with, and there's blood round dripping quite profusely from that.
And this will open the fight up now. Panic could set in with Smith a little bit if he feels the blood running down his face.
Expert cutsman Mick Williamson in Smith's corner and getting prepared to go to work early. It's a nasty one, a nasty gash. Cut by the right eye against Quigley. And Dodson, who fought Quigley as well, was cut in that. So blood early.
Both have landed with jabs. Not many of the big punches have landed. Pretty even open round.
Don't worry. Cross your head, straight away. Don't worry. Just let me hold. Listen, I've got it out. What's an arm doing?
I've got to get that right angle in, yeah.
Pretty composed character, Paul Smith. They said, don't worry, Mick Williamson working his magic. He kept Ricky Hatton in his British title challenge against John Thaxton in after a clash after 30 seconds of the first round, so he could do it.
Yeah, you couldn't want a better man in your corner doing the cuts as Mick Williamson. But there, you don't want that when you defend the British title. Clash of heads early on, and just to have to think about a cut. He needs to keep a cool head, keep his mind on the job.
Nice and still. Don't move.
I was speaking to Mick earlier, and he said he would be needed tonight in this one. He is straight away. The black and gold of Paul Smith in fight number 30, the 27-year-old from Bootle in Liverpool. And with Tony Dodson from Garston. They don't live far apart, they've sparred together. And differing opinions on who got the better of that a long time ago. Smith cut early.
Well, that'll give Dodson a little bit more confidence. He started pretty confident. Now he'll feel with Smith handicapped by that cut. He can do it even more.
Phil Edwards, the referee, already getting on the case. Watch the heads. It was quite a tough, grueling, messy battle that Smith had with Tony Quigley. On the majority decision, heads bounding in again.
Yeah, they're not very smooth at the minute, a little bit erratic, and they're both leaping in.
There's blood to the head, I think, of Smith now. And Dodson is just keeping to his boxing. Nice right hand back from Smith. I thought the way Dodson was speaking this week, he might rush in. He might be too sort of fired up for this, but he's taking a step back. Nice right, though, from Smith. Could be the puncher in there.
Yeah, that was sharp from Smith, just over the low-held left hand of Dodson. Dodson with a left hook as Smith comes forward. This is warming up nicely.
Already his face a bloody mask, Paul Smith. Maybe he knows he's on borrowed time. Remember, under British rules, if the fight is stopped because of the cut, it doesn't matter if it's a head clash. That's it. The title from Paul Smith would go, and a right hand right into that eye from Dodson.
He dabs again at the eye, bleeding a lot. It looks bad.
And there's a cut on the forehead. It's a desperate situation for Smith with so long to go in this, but good combination. Has he got to go for it? Will that hold up?
Well, Mick Williamson in the corner is very, very good. He's got to get back to the corner, not get too involved at this stage.
There's another head clash that caused a second cut. I think there might be a third one around the ear as well for Paul Smith. So much pride and machismo in these local derbies. Tapping away at that button. Mick Williamson just can't wait to get in the ring, but Smith lands a right hand. And they smile at each other.
Hello. Hi. Adrenaline's on the floor. Come on. Oh, don't worry about it. I've got it in my hand.
Come on, it's all right.
Put your head back. Put your head back.
All right, come on, please. That's the fucking heads again.
Excuse the language. In the corner. It was the heads.
Come on. I've just hit him again there, Paul. Yeah, right hand is going to have him, yeah. You've got to pressurise him now, though, lads.
You've got to be fast. Okay. Now, this referee, you've got to be careful.
All part of the adversity of defending your championship title.
Yeah, they're both just leaping in a bit too much. Obviously, they're very anxious to land big punches, but it just calls for a bit cooler head from Smith, especially with the damage that he's got.
Don't worry about it. Keep nice and still.
Mick Williamson earning his corner. Grimacing though, the Cutsman who has helped save so many fighters, Paul Lloyd, Ricky Hatton along the way. Patch them up. Into the third round, all happening in there, isn't it? British Super Middleweight title. Paul Smith was a 4-1 on favourite at the beginning of this. And now, look at them. 6-5 on both. Can't split them, the bookies.
Good left hook to the body, left hook to the head from Smith. This is better from him. Starting to give himself a little bit more room.
Accurate to Smith. On 28 of his 29 with 15 stoppages. And that right hand giving Dodson some trouble. Dodson, whose challenge to Carl Froch ended in this, the third, with a body shot. Will Smith be looking at targeting downstairs? Well, he really needs all his experience now, doesn't he, Smith? Amateur and pro, just to cope.
He certainly does. Hasn't got to panic. And he has got to stop leaping in. He's just got to wait on Dodson a little bit more. That'll give him the room to get his punches off. Can't afford another clash of heads.
so long seen as the playboy of the Liverpool scene, Paul Smith. Infectious to be around, but you realise that you can't play at it. It's a serious job. He's got a title, and he needs to move on from it. Dodson trying to get his own jab into play. 124 of 30. He's been unlucky in his career. That was a lovely right hand that got through the defence of Smith, and a left hook from Dodson. And that just troubled the champion momentarily.
Good little spell for Dodson, who's keeping a cool head, picking the punches well.
He's been inactive, Tony Dodson, out for a year, but he said he's needed that break, recharge the batteries, and he said he feels in awesome condition under Dave Caldwell, who's been running the team.
Well, still just 29, Dodson. Should be plenty fight left in him.
Out of range there, Smith, and more success from Dodson, who again smiles at his rival.
Smith's work's a little bit erratic. Dodson just a bit smoother in this round. More success for him.
Patient Dodson, and good. Welcome back. There is Mick Williamson, one of the most important men in this building at the moment. Paul Smith's cuts man.
It's coming from the top of your head. Come on, another thing.
10 seconds.
Well, a good round for Tony Dodson. Landed with some nice sharp punches, kept his rhythm, kept a little bit of distance. It was him that got the better punches on in his third round.
Tony Dodson, who held this belt back in 2003, beat Alan Foster. A terrible car accident kept him out of the ring for a while. It all seemed to slip away from him, but he's stuck with it. The popular publican from Galston, whose dad's in the corner.
Stop boxing! Time out! I don't want to see anything on the back of the head. You're getting out of hand. Behave yourselves, okay? Let's keep
Phil Edwards trying to tidy this up. That's what Smith needs to do, isn't it? Sort of reassert the jab that gave him the success in the first round.
Yeah, I think he just needs to cool down a little bit. He's very keen on winning this, and he's rushing in a bit too much. He needs to just take a step back, just look to pick his punches more.
Time out! Go there.
Oh, they're going to have a look at the cuts. Phil Edwards and Mick Williamson. No doctor called in yet.
Well, it was the least amount of blood so far when he's called a halt to it. But maybe the cut just getting a little bit deeper.
It's another small worry for Paul Smith that they've had a look at it now, and it's only the fourth round. Might have the speed, Smith. Being a naturally lighter guy. And Dodson, some people felt the punch resistance starting to go, holding the tooth even at 29.
Smith, for me, just crowding his work. He's trying a little bit too hard, and I know it's his British title, but he's just got to relax a bit more.
A passionate guy outside the ring, Paul Smith. Just trying to smother Dodson. Not much clean in the fourth. And that blood continues to flow from the forehead and the left eye.
Just right hand from Dodson.
Just on the back foot, taking his time. Obviously employing the tactics that Dave Caldwell wanted him to do. He said you don't have to rush into this guy, you can pick him off. Exchanging blows there. Dodson very nearly beat Tony Quigley for the British title a year ago. So he took positives out of that, just fell apart in the 12th round and was stopped. And the blood really gushing now from that left eye of Smith. Just look at that face.
What's up there now? What's going on? Oh, right, shh, keep still. Nice and still.
All right.
No, leave that one. Come here. Come out way.
Okay.
Take a stick.
On the sides as well, yeah. What if we start rolling up on the side? As well, yeah.
All right.
On that, yeah.
What's going on in there, Sir Paul Smith? I mean, it's drama even in that corner.
Yeah, both lunging in, but it's Paul Smith that's getting the worst of it. Just clashing on the forehead again, just worsening the cut to the scalp.
Fire your shots, but move your head. Up close, hit into the body. Don't throw body shots from too far out. Right? Fire your shots.
There is Dave Colwell, who's emerging as a really good young trainer in Britain at the moment. He's led Ryan Rhodes back to European title success, and even though he didn't solely train Dodson last year against Quigley, Adam Booth did, he's taken over the helm. Getting his jab going now. Dodson must be growing in confidence because of the damage to Smith's face. And now have a look, 13-8 on his favourite. And Smith was a big favourite coming into this.
Two good shots from Smith, the right then the left.
Do you think the bookies are sensing that that damage is not going to last? It's not going to hold up.
They can see the cut's getting worse. It's bleeding quite freely, and you know you need the referee to keep a cool head.
Right hand from Smith. Well, there was a punch that shook Dodson here in the 5th round. That did hurt him, no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's hanging on. Nods his head to say he's okay, but he felt it.
Tries to work the body, Smith. Maybe he feels he's got to go for broke, more ragged Dodson. We've seen him fall apart before.
Smith's got to find clean punches. Dodson coming forward now, looking for the right hand, and a mask of blood on the face of Paul Smith.
Yeah, Philip was having another close look at that face. Smith teeing up with these punches. I mean, if he prevails, Paul Smith, if he comes through this bloody haze, it will be some result, however he does it.
It really will. It looks tough at the moment, though.
He's got a few dramatic stoppages on the record. Took out Cello Render, that was a good win for the English title, Paul Smith.
Just loading up a little bit, Smith. I'd just like to see him loosen up and let the punches flow. He's obviously so keyed up. He wants to win so much. He feels it's probably slipping away from him with the injuries, and he wants to land a big punch.
Uppercut from Dodson. Nice shot on the inside. And the jab from Dodson. Good finish to the round that might have been Smith's, though.
Yeah, Smith for the most part did the work. Dodson, a few clean shots at the end of the round.
He's ready to go, kid, yeah?
Yeah.
You've got to kick them out, and you're in.
George and Danny Vaughan, father and son team, saying to Paul Smith, he's ready to go. He was rocked, he was hurt there in that 5th.
Yeah, they hurt him a little bit, but he finished the round quite well. Dodson. But Smith just loading up a bit too much, looking for the big punch. The referee needs to just loosen up, let the punches flow.
Tony Dodson, Stan Eric shouting advice to him from the corner. Paul Smith's father in the second row at ringside. He's always there for his son.
Get the hands out. Break, no punches, break.
A bloody feud it's become. I wonder if there is immense respect between the pair.
Dodson getting up with the right hand. And again in close. Smith just left himself open there.
It was low from Dodson, but he certainly put the foot down and trying to take the fight to Smith. He's been in those sort of battles before. Head burrowing in by Smith.
Well, this is really getting down to who's the toughest, who's the strongest. We thought it might.
They're two very talented guys, but it's almost become a street fight, hasn't it?
Yeah, real slugfest, isn't it? They're just using their strength. They both got so much at stake. They both want to land the big punches.
And both will want pride of place around the streets of Liverpool come Monday morning. Rough in that ring tonight. He's done a great job, Mick Williamson, on that eye. Really has. Hasn't bled at all in this. The sixth. Again, just a bit over-anxious, Smith.
Yeah, he's just getting a little bit too close, just building up, trying to land one big one instead of let the combination flow.
Right from Dodson. Intense, tough, and a great shot from Tony Dodson there in the sixth round, and Smith's got a hold on now.
Well, we thought he was getting an overhand right. He brought it underneath the uppercut, walked right onto it, Smith.
Clever from Dodson, who's won half of his fights by knockout, so has got a bit of a dig, and especially if he's the natural super middleweight.
And that just proves, you know, he's still thinking in there, Dodson, still looking for different shots.
Too big, too strong, too good. That's what Tony Dodson told us this week. But this is close, this fight.
Yep, poised for me. Dodson's round.
The power shot. Don't do the same thing again because you'll look for it. Straight back to the stiff jab and then come back with another power shot. You see that uppercut you landed?
That was a good round for Tony Dodson.
As he come onto you.
Yeah, he was thinking in there. Looked as if he was going to launch an overhand right, then turn it to an uppercut.
10 seconds, corners.
Just walked right onto it.
Dead level on Glenn's unofficial card. I've also got it dead level, engaging opinion at ringside. There's really very little in this. 3 judges, remember, for a British title fight. Howard Foster, Victor Loughlin and Marcus McDonnell, who's our side of the ring. The black and gold of Paul Smith in his first defence of this British Super Middleweight title against arch rival Tony Dodson. His sky blue trunks bloodied from the cuts to Smith's eye and forehead.
Dodson showing good speed in there, at times beating Smith to the punch.
And surprisingly, Dodson hasn't cut. 3 cuts open in his last fight against Tony Quigley. It's Smith who's come off worse. Looking to tee up that big right hand again, which did shake Dodson.
Smith's been too intent on landing the big punch, and for me, he's just run into trouble a little bit in doing that.
Trying to set himself behind the jab, Paul Smith, but Dodson's got the middle of the ring. No panic, just a neat look about the way Tony Dodson's going about his business tonight. He's definitely retained his cool, hasn't he, Dodson?
Yeah, very much. Of the two, he's kept cooler the better. Smith's had those cuts to worry about, and I think that's just made him panic a little bit. And he's walking into trouble, rubbing the heads. You know, that's causing more bleeding.
A rough and tumble, good uppercut from Smith on the inside, but physical strength will start to come into this. Dodson's never been 12 rounds, almost made it against Quigley. Smith did have to go 12 against Quigley.
Hands out, go hold break. Give me a clean break, come on, get up.
Smith's the one looking to punch inside, he's trying to get his hands free. Dodson just got a little bit quiet.
Trying to free his hands there, Dodson. Have a good finish to the round. That's the old pro. Knowledgeable tricks, trying to catch the eye of the judges. Both trying this inside work with the uppercuts.
You know, Smith's got good boxing ability, hasn't quite used it in this fight.
The crowd really beginning to get into this. Savage encounter for the British title. It's not pretty. Right hand from Smith, but it's becoming brutal.
Early hours of Sunday morning on Sky Sports HD1, five-weight world champion Manny Pacquiao defends his WBO welterweight title against tough Ghanaian Joshua Clottey, who's never been stopped. It all starts at 2 a.m. live from Dallas in Texas. Replays on Sunday at 9 a.m. and 10 p.m.
Yeah, we can't wait for that. Fantastic Filipino Manny Pacquiao, a worldwide star. These two just at British level, but there's as much pride, as much ambition, as much fire. Paul Smith, Tony Dodson. It's got to be nip and tuck. It's close. Smith with the early cuts. Odds have shifted. Let's have a look now. Dodson, 7-4 on favourite, but little to choose between them. I've got Smith slightly ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, me too. Just did a bit more in the last round. Dodson's just picking little spells. Normally the last 30 seconds when he tries to pick it up.
Lovely jab from Tony Dodson, who's reminding us of those technical skills that made him an excellent amateur. Travelled the world as a junior. Not had a lot of luck in his career, Dodson. Maybe that will change tonight in the right hand. It's a bright start to the 8th from Dodson.
A lot of blood around the right eye as well for Smith. Good on the forehead.
It's the cut to the forehead that's actually starting to affect his vision, Smith. The left cut doesn't look too bad. He's getting cheered every time. He's certainly got the majority of the crowd here, Paul Smith. Will that help down the stretch, willing him on?
Well, it certainly gives you a lift, keeps you going, keeps the spirit high.
I just felt in that blue corner that Dodson was looking for a breather. He's been beaten in 9 rounds a couple of times. Lost 5 in all, Dodson. Smith only 1. Contentious one to Steve Pendle. Dodson just getting a warning. Again, just overstretching Smith.
Yeah, there's no rhythm, you know, he's not throwing the left-right in a combination. He's throwing the left slow and then loading up for the big right hand.
Spar with Matthew Macklin amongst others. Paul Smith for this. Great friends of Ricky Haddons. Having been based with Billy Graham in Manchester for a while. Another spell in the States with Buddy McGurk. Now settled under George Vaughan. But an unsettling first defence of this title. He's just trying to do it the hard way.
Yeah, he's working a bit harder, Paul Smith. Getting a little bit more success, but it's tough.
Come on, guys, break.
And again, a lot of blood.
Box on.
Ragged one, tough to score that session.
Championship rounds, right? You need to work, right? I need to start boxing to work.
Jimmy Tibbs working on a little bit of damage to Tony Dodson now. As the punches landed, it's not particularly many at this stage of a fight. 12 more to Smith. All to fight for still.
Yep, he's working a little bit harder for me, Smith. Both landing good jabs. But when Dodson lands, it's just inflicts more damage. They're a little bit better, and then the head bang again.
I'm going to start working on right hand now. I'm behind the size ball and the left hook as well. He caught him with a lovely shot then, yeah. Hey, caught him with a lovely shot then, you know. We've got to get
Nice and still.
We've got
Keep
to
still.
the body.
Mick Williamson doesn't like anyone else in there when he's working for that minute. Really is a big gash by the left eye, and he's done ever so well to stem that from the opening couple of minutes of the fight. But the cut on the forehead opens straight away at the start of the 9th round here. Black and gold of Paul Smith.
Watch those heads in there, both of you. Stop boxing, stop boxing, stop boxing. I told you, you keep doing that, I'll take a point.
If you keep doing that, I'll take a point away. That could be crucial against Dodson.
Yeah, it could be. You don't want that.
Dodson lost to Pierre Moreno and Albert Rybacki in this, the 9th session. One on a cut, one when he ran out of steam. Both have worked so very hard as well in the fitness department. Dodson had a bit of success, but Smith came back with better right hands. That's the difference in punch power, I think, Glenn.
Yeah, he's still getting success, Dodson, but the will seems more with Smith. He really wants it, doesn't he? And he's showing that he's having to. And terrible cuts. Still desperate to win this, to retain his title.
Smith recently took his belt out at Anfield with his son Paul Jr., big Liverpool fan, and says that it's all for his son now, boxing. He's taking it seriously, and he has to win this. Good right hand, body shots, and again Dodson beginning to unravel at this stage of a fight.
Yeah, nice little series of punches going in. Nothing really coming back from Dodson. Smith looking strong, determined.
It's a huge drive from Smith, who's the fresher of the fighters. Hasn't been in as many wars. He's had to dig deep tonight. But is he coming on strong when it matters most?
Heads rubbing together inside.
It's a deep breath there from Dodson. He might be feeling one or two of these body shots. This is a big round for Paul Smith.
Yeah, he's on the defensive now. He's having to think. Dodson having to suck it up a little bit. Looking to hold.
Just shows what it means. This Lonsdale bout. A terrific one last week with Gary Sykes and Andy Morris. Classy skills with the little guys. This one, a bloody war. Different, but so much passion going into it. Smith's round.
Tony, we got 3 rounds. Listen to me. If you don't start working, you've lost, and you're gonna have to walk around Liverpool, right, knowing that you've done fuck all.
Excuse
right?
the
You
language.
understand what I'm saying? Right? Remember what I said to you? Remember what I said to you? Quigley time. Right? You have got to now go to war with him. Right? But move your fucking. Do you want to
Excuse
win?
again the language, but I know
No,
he's
do you wanna
making the
win?
point rightly, Dave Caldwell, that, you know, come Monday, he's going to have to walk around this city with his head bowed if he doesn't, you know, buck up his ideas now.
Yeah, this is the time he's got to do it. There's no good thinking about it. There's no good regretting it for the rest of your life. You've got a few minutes to do it. 9 minutes to do something special, to try and win the British title. He's got to pull it out.
The odds have been shifting all night, and now Smith is the favourite again. Only 7-4 on. Remember, 4-1 on. Big favourite. A lot of late money went on Paul Smith, especially today. And he bounces out for the start of the 10th round championship rounds now. Walked into a jab, but immediately closes the space and the room for Dodson, and a good uppercut.
That's what's been lacking from the work of Smith. There hasn't been enough thought, there hasn't been enough variation in his work. He simply went in with a jab and looked for a big right hand.
But maybe in his defence, hampered by serious cuts.
Yeah, but I think he's always been, in his mind, hovering on the brink of getting stopped. So he's really been desperate to try and land the big one.
Good drive from Dodson, and the uppercut. Smith comes back with the big hooks. He was making a real deal about Dodson's glass jaw, his resistance, that it would crack at some point.
For me, the body shots from Smith look the key to breaking Dodson down.
Really good effort from Tony Dodson, but will it be enough?
Good jab from Dodson. Getting success in this round.
Stop holding. Again, warned that a point might be coming off. That will be catastrophic for Dodson at this stage. Frank Warren, Smith's promoter, bellowing out instructions to his charge. They've got a close relationship. Stuck with each other. Again, not very much of this clean.
No, it's all strength, sapping work. A match of power and strength.
Is a point coming off? It is. He's told him, and a point comes off, and the Smith supporters cheer. And could that mean that Dodson needs a knockout late on?
Well, on my card, it does. It's the last thing he needed.
Trying to sap each other's energy in close. Tactics, technical skills, long gone out the window. This is a maul, but it means a great deal. One of them will be British champion in about 10 minutes' time. Unless, of course, the judges can't split them.
Well, he didn't need that.
There.
Listen, we need these 2 rounds. We've got 2 rounds in your life. Yes. Yeah? No, listen to me.
There's the point off Dodson.
Well, he'd been warned. He carried on doing it. Good uppercut from Paul Smith. From the point deduction, it helped him even more. His determination
Paul, you're
is the
the
key.
You've got to let the body shots go.
Working the jab, lads.
Okay.
Working the jab.
Body shots, Paul. You've
Still to
got to
come,
let them
Cal
go.
Brook, the unbeaten Sheffield, possible superstar, in with Christoph Yeni as his toughest challenge today, and Tony Bellew, big friend of Paul Smith's. He's going for the Commonwealth title, the undefeated Evertonian. Big blue he is. Blue trunks of Tony Dodson, whose cousin played for Everton, and he's all sorts of bother at the beginning of the 11th. He walked into that, and Smith found the punches. Glenn has Smith in a handy lead now.
That point deduction given a 2-point round, which just made it ever harder for Dodson to pull this back.
Left hook. Dodson again, arms drop. These late stages seem to be a problem for the popular man from Garston.
Come on, tidy it up. Takes the two of them back.
Dodson's really got to go for broke, and that will leave him open, won't it, to the head and body.
Yeah, he's got to try and find something special now. He's got to gamble.
Nice right hand from Dodson. Is there late drama? The crowd roaring Smith on as he tries to target that body area of Dodson. Dodson with that little cut by the left eye. He's kept composed. He's just being out-hustled for a great deal of this. Certainly the second half.
Yeah, it's just looked at Paul Smith wants it that bit more.
Nice jab at Dodson, coming back with a response. Just over a minute to go of the 11th. And a left hand for Smith. Back comes Dodson. Tit for tat. Good action.
Well, the action's just opening up a little bit now as they both get that bit desperate.
Spending right down. You can sort of feel at ringside that Smith wants to throw some hooks to the body. Has he got the energy? Dodson flies in.
Both trying so hard, aren't they? Making mistakes when they do that.
Shows what it means, this pride thing in Liverpool. The sporting city. A war of attrition has unfolded right on the banks of the Mersey. And Merseyside derbies are normally pretty rough and tough.
Last round now, yeah.
Keep still.
You've got to get this.
Keep still.
You've got to work this.
She's about rich in the corner.
You've got to fucking work him now. Come on.
Yeah, clean him.
Nice and tight though, yeah. He's going to get desperate, Paul. He's going to get desperate and just start swinging now, yeah.
Just fire, come on. Fire up on him.
You go out in
Come on.
Boom. And boom. You'll be on no
You've got to
points.
knock him out, man. You've got to knock him out.
Come on, son, please.
You can't knock him
Right
out.
two. Jab round the side. 1, 2. Come on, take. Piss this round. You've got to win this round, big, yeah. Hey, come on.
Everything you've got.
Everything you've got, come on.
All right.
Nice and tight. He's going to get desperate.
What a loser. Come on, Tony. Don't be like that.
Come on, get up, get up.
Come on.
The corner's living and breathing every moment of this. Phil Edwards claps. He's got blood all over his white shirt, and there is good respect between the two. Nice to see. They touched gloves a couple of times, Smith and Dodson, who fired insults in the build-up to this, but they must have each other's respect.
Yeah, they certainly both earned it in there, haven't they? Been quite close. It's been a rough and tumble fight of strength and will, determination. Some rounds difficult to score. Just for me, the feeling that Smith wanted a bit more, worked that little bit more. But Dodson's had his good spells.
It was very tight for the first 6 rounds, pretty level at the halfway stage. But Smith's come on. He's shown that big heart that he possesses. The point off Tony Dodson as well. And remember, Smith is the champion too. He hasn't wrenched the belt away, has he, Dodson?
No, he hasn't. And you just wonder if he's done enough. I mean, Smith's done marvellous, handicapped by these terrible cuts. His face awash with blood for most of the fight.
Yep, he might be pretty annoyed that he couldn't use his technical skills as Dodson tries to fire a few off late. But it hasn't been that sort of fight. Good work from Dodson to the body, trying to unsettle Smith. Real gritty effort from Dodson.
Well, he's picked it up at the end, Dodson, hasn't he? Takes a right hand, though.
Some of the crowd on their feet.
Tony, come on! He's gone!
You feel they've sort of fought it with the fighters tonight
He's gone!
in this
Push him off, he's left.
cauldron.
Come on, Tom! 2 rounds!
Fitness and stamina holding up. Smith going for the body shots. Dodson getting the better of this final session.
Where, Tom? Where, Tom?
Well, you can tell by the way the fighters are both really firing in this last round that they're not sure.
Walking through punches and still delivering the leather.
He's gone, come on! Body!
Last 30 seconds. Does Dodson need the knockout? Has Smith done enough? What a drive from the challenger. Smith reacting with big hooks. Another British title fight fought with huge intensity.
The whole crowd on their feet, engrossed in this.
Smith wants to bring the big nights back to Liverpool. The big nights are here. Well done to the pair of them. They both raised their arms. We think Smith's got it. And Mick Williamson, if Smith has got it, deserves 3/4 of the purse.
He certainly deserves that. He deserves something, doesn't he? But that's his job, and he does it well. But a good finish to the fight from Dodson. We thought he might struggle in the later rounds. He come on quite good last couple of rounds. Smith, for me, still a little bit ahead.
Well, it was tough and grueling almost from the off, and those cuts started things.
Yeah, the fight started pretty even, both very keyed up, but cuts played their part, didn't they? And to the detriment of Paul Smith, who was getting cut up, his face blood-soaked, and very, very even for the first half of the fight. Not a lot in it. Neither man willing to give an edge. From then, Tony Dodson just started to slip a little bit. Paul Smith, determined as ever, just kept pushing forward, doing more work. But then the last couple of rounds, Dodson got a little lease of life. The corner pushed him hard after getting a point deducted in the 10th. He came on, pushed hard last couple of rounds and finished slightly the better in a very grueling, tough contest.
Still firing, finding the energy at the bell. Let's find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for 2 boxers who gave their all. Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds, we go to the scorecard. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Howard Foster scores the contest 116-111. Marcus McDonald scores the contest 115-112. Victor Loughlin scores the contest 117-112. The winner, and still the British Super Middleweight champion in the blue corner from Liverpool, Paul Smith.
How he had to work for that, and the Smith fans erupt. He's still the British champion.